You know, second season of fantasy football.
Right, right.
Um, we didn't do a show last week. Obviously, there wasn't really a whole lot to be said from the double S league standpoint because the whole playoff situation was all janky and everything, and due to the little error I made. But I'd gotten knocked out in the first round of that one, and a brother named Jason Graves won it with a team called the Hot Tamales. He sent me a text Monday night asking me where his payout was in a free league. And then Pete was saying he looks like he's actually going to, he's got a good chance of winning the other league that we were all in together, and that would be back-to-back titles for him. So he runs
come packaged.
So what now?
He's looking for that pride, that winner's pride, to come like in a little nice and neat box.
Oh shoot, the other one's money, man. I think he's looking to pull down maybe almost 500 in that.
Okay, man. This week was a. I don't claim to know everything, but the rule as it stands in the playoffs is what? Don't get cute, right?
Don't get cute. We had that. Me and Pete had a discussion yesterday.
So, in my infinite wisdom, I was asked this question by a fellow player out there, and at the time of the question, it seemed pretty basic, but I had broken down to him why I had my options, and I'm gonna explain the question to you. The question was between Tannehill, Dalton, and Romo, with the playoffs on the line. Who do you roll with?
This is last week or this week? Because for a lot of us,
this past week, when
for a lot of us, let's put it out there for the viewing audience. For a lot of us, this is championships week, week 16.
Okay.
A lot of leagues don't go on week 17 because the NFL guys, you see a lot of if you got your Peyton Mannings and your Aaron Rodgers in week 17, they just might sit unless they absolutely have to have it. And doesn't look like these guys absolutely have to have it this year. So,
right.
Yeah. So, could you repeat the question?
The question was between Tannehill, Romo, and Dalton. What's the best pick to get me to the next round? And I told him this Dalton, because Dalton, it's playoff time, and as such, Dalton will give a playoff performance. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I would not bet on him.
Mm-hmm.
Tannehill, he's not going to do enough to get you over the hump. I didn't think so personally. So I left Romo, and I was like, you know what? So much is riding on this game for Dallas. It would not surprise me for them to go with the Romo storyline. You know what I mean? Considering that they still got to beat Indianapolis, whereas like if Philly won, they could basically coast to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, by me telling him that, he says, all right, cool. I talked to him just a little while ago. He said, actually, when Ellington got hurt, he dropped Ellington and picked up Russell Wilson. I don't have to tell you how the story ended. Yeah, he's on the couch.
He played Russell Wilson instead of Tony Romo.
Exactly. And he was like,
the 49ers.
Yeah.
Okay, see, this is not the don't get cute sort of angle that I was expecting to hear. I mean, this is survivalist angle here. Survivalist at this point, that means you don't have Manning. That means you don't have Rodgers. That means you don't have the margin of error to get quote unquote cute. So what that was you just described to me, I can't really describe it as cute, ugly, pretty, marginally attractive. I don't know what that was. But if he's got Romo and he's playing that Eagles defense, despite what happened at Thanksgiving, it's still a better matchup than Tannehill versus who did they have? The Patriots. That's not a play you make. No, you just don't do that. And that's not common. That's not cute, unless Tannehill's the only quarterback you got.
He dropped Ellington to pick up Russell Wilson,
and then played Russell Wilson against the 49ers.
Yeah. And I'm just like, man, this ain't the Russell Wilson of last. Russell Wilson ain't been throwing for 300 yards this year. Dude ain't been running in them touchdowns from 10 yards out. He got a couple, but not like he has been doing. And if you in a league where you get more points for rushing touchdowns, Russell Wilson don't really throw past touchdowns. He gets like maybe one a game, but for most part, it's beast mode. So what you're telling me is net pickup. You're banking on him running for at least 2 touchdowns and passing for about the average of his 175 yards. He's going to be getting you every game all season, and you can bank a championship game on that or a playoff game on that.
Look, when you are trolling the waiver wire during the playoffs, and you see Russell Wilson is there, I mean, you're not taking him. You're not going to pick him up thinking that he could be your best backup option. Okay, you might be picking him up thinking he could be a backup option in case there's a car accident or something, or your starter was riding Cam Newton or whatever. But let's face it, if you're in the playoffs, if you made it this far without Russell Wilson, you're not going to be turning to Russell Wilson.
Yep.
In fantasy football playoffs, Yep. Why was he on the waiver wire in the first place? Did that question ever come up?
No, because his league, he said that the league that he picked him up in, I believe it was a 12-team league. But like I said, in my league, in the PPR league, Russell Wilson, he's not really that great of an option. You know what I mean? I'm not saying
he's not that great of an option in most 10 or 12s.
Well, I don't understand why. I think he was just trying to fill a roster spot. But at the same time, it's like, all right, if Ellington is out, then that's fine. I can see if he dropped a running back for another running back. But he dropped a running back for a quarterback, and had he played Tannehill or Romo, he would be getting ready to pop champagne this weekend.
What did Tannehill do? I thought they didn't have such a great day.
Tannehill, I believe he had like 1 interception and 2 touchdowns or something like that, or maybe it was 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He put up more points than Russell Wilson.
I put up more points than Russell Wilson. but in all fairness, Russell Wilson put up more points than Aaron Rodgers
and Ryan Leaf.
Ryan, you mean Ryan Leaf?
Yeah.
Oh, Phil Rivers. I mean, there's a lot of people, you're talking about popping champagne, there's a lot of people that's popping vinegar right now that rode Aaron Rodgers into the playoffs. And you saw what happened to the Packers Sunday. You saw what happened to Aaron Rodgers. My man Pete said yesterday he had Cobb and Rodgers, and they combined for 15 points for him.
Yeah, but that's like that would not have been expected though, because that happened.
I know, but that's keeping with the theme. Don't get cute, because we were in a conversation with Dion, our esteemed cohort Dion Dyer, and he was lamenting his fantasy woes, and he said something about, I think he had Rodgers in one of his leagues, just as Pete did, and the astute fantasy owner already knew going into this week, if you had the 80 Packers, but particularly Rodgers, Buffalo, the Buffalo defense is legit. They could cause some matchup problems. It wasn't going to be Aaron Rodgers 400 yards. It wasn't going to be the Aaron Rodgers we've been seeing for like the last 5 weeks. You already knew that.
But I thought they played in Green Bay though. The game was in Buffalo.
No, they played in Buffalo.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And see, that was the thing. Buffalo in December, even though the Packers play in the cold too. That win going through Rich Wilson Stadium, or what was it, used to be Rich Stadium, whatever it was. And you knew, if you're the astute fantasy owner, we said this, okay, you're in a rock and a hard place in the playoffs here because you rode Aaron Rodgers this far. Unless you had Tom Brady or something like that with a favorable matchup, or you had Drew Brees backing up Aaron Rodgers, which most people won't, you don't get cute. You don't take Rodgers out for that flyer on, I don't know, Kyle Orton, per se, who didn't have a bad day in his own right. But the principle is, don't get cute. You open the show with it. We've been talking about don't get cute. You're playing Aaron Rodgers, and most of those who played Aaron Rodgers, their season's ended. So
What do you think about
that's
this? What?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, so what do you think about this decision to the Cowboys are making? Pretty much saying it, but not saying it, that Murray's gonna go this weekend.
Ooh, I would not want to be. I mean, basically, you're at that point where you're trying to handcuff Murray. That's my opinion. If you got Murray right now, you're scrambling for the backup or one of those two guys, and you're trying to take a guess on which one is going to be ready to go if Murray can't go on Sunday. And even if he can go on Sunday, you might be in a situation where, heaven forbid, you might have to put both of them in your lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't recommend that myself, but I mean,
I don't see Dallas going back to the Romo storyline for this week. I would more so see that happening against Indy, because Indy's gonna be a shootout.
yeah, but Indy, it might not really matter if it's Murray or not. I mean, we know that's a defense you can pound. I mean, if you got one of the better offensive lines in the league, I mean, you saw what the Patriots did with them, with some guy you haven't seen before or hadn't seen since. You know, I mean, you think Dallas isn't going to, try and keep the ball on the ground? It's still Andrew Luck. It's still a Dallas defense. You're not going to really try and hand that game over to Romo, are you?
I don't know, because like Andrew Luck's gonna move the ball. You know what I mean? Like he airs it out, obviously. You know what I mean? Looking at his stats and stuff like that. So I would tend to think. I mean, yeah, Dallas defense is better, but I would still tend to think that I'd be willing to bet that game is in the high 20s.
I could see it going into the high 20s, but I think Dallas isn't going to really want to try and match passes with Luck on that one.
See, they may not want to, but what they may find
that's that sort of situation where if you don't have Murray, you're really hoping for the Colts to get out to a big lead early.
Well, they're going to probably let's assume that they go ahead and play Murray this week, right? They play him this week, boom, he gets hurt, like for real, like again. Now what do? You got to get into a shootout with him, because you're not going to make Joseph Randle the bell cow or Lance Dunbar the bell cow. You ain't gonna do that. Not against the Colts. That ain't happening.
So if you got Murray, what are you doing?
I would probably pick up Dunbar.
Yeah, Dunbar.
That's all. I mean, just personally, and I don't know if I would do the double play this week, especially if I had another option. I'd probably like run with somebody else, because what's gonna happen is one or two things. Either one, Murray's gonna start, and he broke his right hand or whatever, so he's gonna always be forced to go left, risk the fumble, or two, Dunbar's just gonna get all the action going right.
Boy, I'm glad I'm not in that situation. I made the finals with the Girl Scout League. The commissioner, I'm going up against the commissioner of the league. I saw his girlfriend tonight, and I started playing the psych game. I ain't have a whole lot to say. I was giving him the cold eye. Competition starts on Wednesday. I'm saying she's gonna go home, tell her boyfriend I was already in game mode, that sort of thing. I don't talk a lot of trash, but I was trying to get them unsettled with my silence. I don't know what that has to do with anything. He's actually favored to beat me, but because he's got some better matchups, but it's kind of like a slim margin. So, but that team though, it's kind of like I get the feeling that I'm running out of gas here. I've had some injuries, with Marshall getting hurt. Never had Peterson to start with. That sort of thing, and I'm looking at some bad matchups. I had two guys going off me the last few weeks in Trey Mason and Odell Beckham, who was huge for me last week because I had a lot of no-shows on that team last week, and Beckham scored like 48 points for me. So, yeah. Beckham versus the Redskins, you take that every time.
Yeah, that's right. He had the 3 touchdowns, right?
That's right.
146
Yeah,
yards
he
on
scored a fourth
touchdowns.
one. Yeah, they took one from him too. So, um, but yeah, so it was kind of like that. I'm hoping I get one more good week out of him. Mason's got 2 bad matchups in a row. Last week he got me nothing against the Cardinals. I think what they got this week? Seahawks. They got the 85 Bears. I think they got the no-name defense and some other people. So that was my best running back. I don't think he's going to really do a whole lot. So I'm basically depending on luck. Beckham. I get Julian Thomas back. He didn't do nothing last week, but I have him. Hopefully Peyton starts throwing the ball again. Hopefully.
Damaris is getting all that love.
Well, in general, Peyton ain't throwing the ball the last few weeks. So, I don't know. Damaris has been getting the love for 3 weeks straight. Maybe it's time for a switch up.
And watch it switch right over to Walker.
I know, right? Switch right over to Walker. So if that happens, yeah, I'm toast. Hey, are you still? What's the daily league situation going? What's going on?
I actually did not play last week. Couldn't do my research on Saturday. Wife had to work, so I kind of try to put a lot more time into that. I may do something this week, especially about today being Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Typically tend to stay away from the Thursday games anyway. So I got enough time to probably start something tomorrow night, start doing some research. But was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago I won like $5, nothing major, off of a $1 buy-in.
That's 5 lotto tickets, man.
Huh?
That's 5 lotto tickets.
It is, but you know what? Like I kind of got a what's the word? I don't want to use bamboozled, but I want to say that I kind of the way the system is set up, all the glitters ain't gold type theory,
Mm-hmm.
because they preach. Well, at least this is for what's it called? Not DraftKings? What's the other one? FanDuel. For FanDuel, they promise to match on your initial down payment. But what they don't tell you is that they don't give you dollars back. They give you points that you can use to enter the tournaments. And in doing so, those points expire at the end of the month.
Ooh.
So if it's someone like me taking your time, not playing 15, 20 contests a weekend, you're never going to have enough to get that match.
Right. They're trying to keep you on the hook, in other words.
Basically saying, yeah, he'll use all his money. Because what I was planning to do was get through maybe, obviously nobody wants to lose, but lose maybe $100 or something like that. I put 200 down, so lose like 100, and then start playing off of the points from that 100 before I touch my other $100. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in seeing that that's now the way it goes, I'm probably going to fall back a little bit from it, because the whole purpose was that I put down 200, I get 200, so now I got $400 to play with. But if that's not going to be the case, there's no real incentive for me to be as aggressive.
Well, I can see how that will work both ways. And if you're aware that you don't have that incentive, then you can take your time and play at your own, play whenever it is you're ready.
Right. And I didn't realize that until somebody pointed it out, and you go read the fine print, and sure enough, points expire at the end of the month. It's like, what? So, whatever. It's cool, though. But if I'm going to do that, I mean, if I'm a gamble or something like that, even though they don't want to call it gambling, I'd much rather go sit at the casino table.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying.
I see what you're saying. So, something for me to consider next year if I decide to even give that a shot. I think it would strictly be for evaluation purposes, or an experiment, or just to dip my toe on the other side there.
Like I said, don't get me wrong, it's cool, but don't go into it like with the whole promise of the match and stuff like that, because that was the main reason I did it. I figured I'd put some money down, experiment a little bit, but then also run it through the seasons, like between football and basketball. And I haven't even started basketball yet, but then the minute I found out that those points were not going to sit there banked for me, I just kind of fell back on it. I was all right, well, don't worry about it then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, you live and you learn.
Yeah, man.